Welcome to Venusian Soul. Today I'm back with a timeless pick a card reading, and it's going to be how is Spirit helping you? And I just want to look at any ways that Spirit may be helping you heal, grow, evolve, or what area of your life Spirit is focusing on. So I want you to cast your gaze over these cards and ask your higher self which cards have a message for you. We have pile number 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. If you need to pause the video to meditate further, please do so. But for those of you who are ready, let's get started. Hi Group 1. The first thing I heard when I laid these cards was cut the toxicity. So I feel for some of you or a lot of you, you've already cut out a lot of, specifically I'm feeling like it's people or a specific person that you've removed from your life or you've let go of because they didn't kind of resonate with you in your heart. I'm also hearing cutting away toxicity or people or situations that don't nurture your sensitivity, that don't appreciate your sensitivity, that don't, they're not conducive. Because I keep hearing I know this says healing the heart, but I'm hearing protecting the heart as well. For some of you, I feel like you've had to go through a lot of healing and personal growth from someone or something toxic. And again, I do feel this involves a toxic person or toxic people in general. It could have been a group for some of you. But I just feel the more you move away from people that drain you, deplete you, just put you in this kind of energy, in this space, the better. Because I feel for this group as well, it's time for a new chapter, a new cycle. And the major thing that Spirit is helping you with, you go from the 7 of Swords to the 2 of Cups, is attracting relationships with people that deserve you, that can show up on that level. For some of you, this could be going from having a toxic romantic relationship to, with the 2 of Cups, something that's a bit more kind of supportive, loving, nurturing. And there's a shift happening with that. With the 7 of Swords beneath the moon, there's a level of personal growth or self-awareness here in terms of either what you've dealt with. Perhaps you're more aware now of, the toxicity of a situation you were in, or, when you're reflecting on something, you understand why things happen the way they did, how it's led to your growth, your evolution. But there's some sort of epiphany or awareness that has come through because of this, the work you've done on yourself, because of this evolution. I also think Spirit is helping you really focus on your passions, like what makes you feel good. For some of you, you may have overcome some sort of codependency. I do feel this for this group, you are either healers or you could be healers, creatives, artists. You're very sensitive in nature. So you could be someone that easily extends your energy, empathic, you absorb and take on other people's stuff. But I feel for this group, it's more about you really embracing your own truth, embracing what you want for yourself, doing the things and having people around you that are sensitive, that are gentle, that do support you. Yeah, and we have the Queen of Cups and the Sun sitting beneath it. And again, it's very much about focusing on your happiness, what lights you up, what makes you feel happy. With the Sun and the 2 of Cups, it's Spirit is saying I'm also hearing a message around being in places and relationships and situations where you're not afraid to share that light. We have shining through here, which is all about you really, standing out, leadership. It's really about you kind of putting yourself out there and not being afraid of other people's reactions, or not feeling like you have to squash yourself or diminish yourself for their comfort. So I do feel there's this push toward you really embracing what works for you, even maybe recognizing more fully your own beauty, your own talents, your own worth. Very strong themes around self-love, yes, but it's more boundaries, because I feel with this group, you've always loved yourself, but I feel like you were perhaps someone that overgave to others. Like if it pulled on your heartstrings, you would want to help them, or you would try to overgive, overextend, and that may have not been beneficial for you and your journey and your path. So I do feel for this group, you may have had to really learn some harsh lessons around distancing yourself from those people that drain you, diminish you, don't support you. With the moon here as well, again, there's a very strong subconscious, ethereal energy here. Queen of Cups, the moon, there's a sense of kind of wading through some of the feelings you've had or some of the feelings you may have suppressed, especially pertaining to, you know, someone that has hurt you or something that was difficult for you to move through. I just get that energy of needing to really examine yourself, examine your heart space, examine some of these situations, how they happened, how they've affected you, and be really clear in terms of what you want to do moving forward. With the Devil, for some of you, there could still be a little bit of energy clearing, and that's why the toxicity is coming up. Like it could be a situation that technically has ended, but emotionally you're still grappling with it, or emotionally and subconsciously it's still affecting your thought patterns or how you feel about and toward people, relationship, connection. So there is an element of healing here that's still happening, but I think for some of you, you've kind of been through that process and you have done a lot of work in terms of preparing for a new chapter, especially with new beginnings. I also think Spirit is helping you have a fresh start so that the past toxicity or difficulty can't touch you. It's like you're moving to a place where that energy is no longer, you know, prevalent, or that energy no longer can have an influence on your life, your path moving forward. With the Knight of Wands, a really positive focal point for you is really embracing your talents and this could be something as simple as engaging in a hobby that you love, or putting yourself in a situation or environment where you're able to really excel, like really putting your needs first, especially for those of you where there has been an element of self-sacrifice, or even if it's not to that extent, just giving a lot to others at the expense of your well-being. And I feel like Spirit is really asking you to kind of bring that, to reprioritize what works for you, and also make sure your lifestyle is conducive to your sensitivity. If you are a more sensitive soul, you may need to be in an environment or around people that better accommodate that. Now with this Two of Cups as well, for those of you where you are wanting to manifest a connection and a love relationship, I feel like that's what Spirit is helping you with as well. But with the Devil and the Moon, those energies have to be laid to rest completely before it comes in. For those of you where that resonates. With Wonders as well, sitting above new beginnings and leadership, for some of you, I feel like Spirit is helping you embrace a new path, a new career, a new business, job role that fully, number one, that lights you up, that you feel this passion toward, but also that enables you to really excel, especially if you felt, whether it be in relationships or career in general, where you felt like, oh, you know, like I never get to really share myself or shine or show up to the level I want to. I feel like Spirit is really encouraging you to step into the fullness of who you are, to really embrace some of these passions, talents, interests, ideas that you have. With the Sun as well, I do feel like this is going to be a happier chapter cycle. I feel like there's going to be more, maybe even more excitement is what I'm hearing, but in a positive, not excitement in a dramatic way, excitement in a more nurturing way, excited about yourself, your own talents. I think you're going to be feeling really fulfilled and very, very abundant as a person, as a soul. I think you're going to be in a place or a position where you recognize, you know, some of your talents, your gifts, you recognize some of the blessings that you have around you. And I feel like a lot of these blessings you've brought in because of the work you've chosen to do on yourself, but also because you chose to clear away or heal from toxicity or situations and people that didn't serve you. And I feel like that will have a really beneficial effect on all aspects of your life moving forward. Yeah, and I just keep hearing like, don't be afraid to shine, or don't be afraid to share yourself. For some of you, I feel like you have a specific passion or talent or like a business idea that Spirit and the Divine is really asking you to put out there, that Spirit is wanting you to really embrace and share and cultivate. And I feel perhaps in doing so, that enables a brand new life or a brand new opportunity to come into your world. And with leadership, though, I do feel this next cycle, or what Spirit is preparing you for, is going to require a degree of courage, whether it's opening your heart to a connection and being really vulnerable. For others of you, I think it's the courage to, again, put yourself out there or create something or share what you've created with others so that they can really embrace it or be a part of your creation, be a part of your talents, your gifts. For some of you, I do feel like you're healers or you're artists, or you have, you definitely have that Midas touch where there's a certain, and it'll vary for all of you, but I feel like you're very gifted, or you have a specific gift that could be really beneficial, not only in your life, but in the lives of others. So that's all I have for you. I hope this reading resonates, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hi, group 2. So the message I'm hearing for this group, I feel like Spirit is helping you open up and discover a new dimension within yourself. I feel like, and I'm also hearing like you're learning and mastering the art of finding happiness within. You have stillness, inner peace, and happiness. There's a sense of you being clear in terms of, okay, nothing outside of me, material stuff, my career, my job, all the ways I've looked for definition or validation, happiness, fulfillment, it's never come from outside of me. I've never been able to find my fulfillment in the world, in the physical. So I feel for this group, there's been some sort of awakening or epiphany of, I need to go deeper with my spiritual work, or I need to really develop and deep dive in the sense of, you know, what's next for me? How do I want to live? For some of you, you could be becoming, I just heard more ascetic in the sense of, or more minimalist, where you're less preoccupied. You may be kind of donating things or just less preoccupied with the physical. And again, that doesn't have to show up in the form of, you know, giving things away or removing things from your life necessarily, but there could be an emphasis on, you know, not holding on to things of the physical realm, not being tethered to anything. And again, even if you're not in that space of minimalism, you may be severing the attachment to material possessions or a material, you know, it could be a person, a situation. Because I feel like I'm seeing you disconnecting from the world to travel more deeply into the spiritual realm, to travel more deeply into the inner realm. So, and I think Spirit is really encouraging that. With willing release, for some of you, you could have just outgrown where you've been. You're finished, like you're ready for a new dimension. Your consciousness has expanded to a level where that old world can't fulfill you. That old world doesn't offer what you want anymore, or you're ready for new energy, new people, new experiences. With the Six of Cups, I feel like it's like you're closing something out, or you're just finished with it. I also think at this point or juncture in your life, it's less about other people and more about yourself. I'm not really getting anyone else's energy in these cards. There may be a letting go of other people's energy, but it's not a focal point. So for this group, I do feel there's a sense of what's ahead of me, but what is true fulfillment for me? What is happiness? And I feel like for this group, you discover it's got nothing to do with what's outside of you and everything to do with what's within you. With the Sun and Judgment, you may be calling time. I just keep hearing like there's something you may let go of, and it could vary for every single one of you, but I just keep hearing like letting go, calling time on something. Perhaps you've outgrown it. Perhaps you're ready to go somewhere new. Perhaps it just doesn't serve you anymore. You may feel like situations in your life or people in your life that once gave to you or once offered happiness and fulfillment no longer do. And this is what's triggering this spirit. It is a spiritual awakening of sorts to a new and higher level of consciousness. But I feel for this group, you may just be in that place of, you know, I'm ready to move on, or I'm ready for a new beginning, I'm ready for new energy. I just feel like whatever has been, you know, needs to come to an end or is ready to end. With the Two of Swords as well, there could be a bit of trepidation or uncertainty about the path ahead. For some of you, I feel like you're in that twilight zone where it's the past or the old life, the old cycle hasn't fully closed out and may still affect you, but you're preparing and ready for the new as well. So it's like you may be feeling at a crossroads. You may be feeling a little uncertain. And for some of you, you may not actually know where your happiness is or what happiness is for you. You may be in the process of trying to discover what that looks like, how to develop, like how to take that path, what your next steps are. I just feel like there's a lot of uncertainty. I'm also hearing though, I feel like Spirit is saying embrace that uncertainty, because that's what's leading with opening to discovery, to more awareness of not only who you truly are, but what you really want, what fulfillment looks like for you. Finishing on the Nine of Wands. This is what I'm saying, you may be very closed off to other people, like you may, or to like external life. There may be a sense of, I just want to cocoon myself and be in my own energy and really deep dive and, you know, focus on my own needs. I don't really see you focusing excessively on other people, or really wanting to kind of give a lot or put a lot of energy into other people's stuff or their feelings. I'm also hearing like it's a matter as well of finding balance within yourself. Yeah, with the Sun and the Six of Cups, I just heard like no longer finding happiness where it was. So for some of you, I do feel there's a situation that you may have been in a while that Spirit is helping you release, that you've outgrown. With that Ace of Wands, I feel like it's like there's like potentially a light bulb moment with opening to discovery, where it's like an epiphany of, oh, this is what I want to do, or this is where my happiness is, this is where my enjoyment is, this is what liberates me. It's a new, I just heard new terrain. It's like being in a new dimension. But again, Spirit is saying to reach the other side and to really find this place of happiness and inner peace, you've got to take the journey. You have to walk that path. You have to have that experience. I think happiness is going to be a central theme moving forward for you. I feel like when it comes to people, work, situations, your primary question is going to be, does this make me happy? Does this light me up? Is this a positive? Does this have a positive effect on me or a negative? Like just being really clear in terms of, okay, this is what I want. This is what I don't want. This is how I want to move forward. Just really deep introspection. But it's, again, it goes beyond that, because I do feel for this group, for some of you, you may be doing really deep spiritual inquiry where you're wanting to really get to the source of your being. You're wanting to understand yourself on those really deeper levels and layers. And for a period of time, the physical world may just hold no interest for you. Not only in the sense of, you know, material possessions, but just in general. Your energy may be so much focused within that, you know, you're not even aware or really conscious or focused on the 3D and the physical. With willing release, again, take your time with whatever needs to leave your world. I feel like Spirit is not in that place of kind of like rushing you to make a choice or forcing it, but there's a need to allow things. With that Three of Wands above Judgment, yeah, again, I keep hearing calling time on something, or it could be someone, but there's just that sense of not being fulfilled with where you're at. And I heard something could have stopped giving to you or stopped feeding you. Stop feeding you with joy, passion, excitement, connection. There's a sense that you may feel somewhat disconnected in your current life or disconnected from, where you're at, how things have been. There could be this desire to kind of move, to start again or move in a new direction. I feel for this group as well moving forward, you are going to be a lot happier. However, it's a different type of happiness. It's not, do you know when we have, physical things that go our way, or, we get a new possession or we have a new relationship, and it's that very ecstatic, it's more ego-based. It's a happiness that's more centered on, the ego, the personality self. This happiness that you're developing is unshakable. It's not dependent and doesn't change based on what's happening in your physical. This happiness doesn't come about because, for example, you inherit a large sum of money or you get a job that's double your former salary. Not that you don't take enjoyment in that, but there's a detachment that you're learning or mastering around the physical. And I think for this group, it's going to really be hitting home in terms of, okay, this is what serves me, this is what works for me, and this is what doesn't. Like getting really clear in regards to, what you do want moving forward, what suits the being that you are now. Because I think for many of you, and again, you've probably been through many cycles of spiritual growth and evolution to get to this point. But I feel for some of you, you're really leaving behind old definitions of self, but physical definitions of self. For some of you, you may feel completely detached by things that identify you. For example, whether it's, female, I have such and such career, I make such and such amount of money, these are my friends, this is where I live. It's like any definition isn't fitting you anymore because you're more anchored, or it won't be after this growth process, because you're more anchored in the soul. And again, I feel like Spirit is saying you have to go on that journey and go on that voyage to reach this place, but don't be afraid to be kind of, it's almost like being, having a definition that's absent, being in that in-between state where you can't clearly define or summarize things. There's a need to have a lot of trust as you go through this process. So that's all I have for you. If you enjoyed the reading, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Hi, group 3. So I'm hearing for this group, you could have had a situation where something almost like broke you. There's a sense of something kind of brought you to your knees, or really it was a blessing in disguise, but it was the becoming of you is what I'm hearing. So for some of you, and it'll vary for all of you what this was specifically, and also the timeline of when it happened. But I feel for some of you, there was a situation or a circumstance that kind of brought you to your knees, or was quite difficult to move on from or heal from emotionally. But then it kind of led to your becoming. It led to a tremendous amount of growth. It led to you kind of being in your power is what I'm hearing as well, especially with the Emperor sitting above the Nine of Pentacles. There's an element of strength here. But I'm hearing as well, like, don't be afraid to open your heart again. Don't be afraid to kind of be vulnerable or to share that side of yourself. For some of you in this group, you may be a little bit more comfortable in a more masculine energy. And again, masculine and feminine energy has nothing to do with gender, but there's a sense of you may be in that space of being kind of a go-getter energy, where you're really good at making things happen, very powerful, very strong, very intelligent as well, this group with the King of Swords and Nine of Pentacles. But Spirit is saying, don't be afraid to open your heart again. Because I feel for some of you where there has been some sort of wound, or there has been a situation that I just heard left scars. There's a sense that that situation or that circumstance is also why you are in the position you are today. Or that circumstance helped to evolve you to new heights. With beautiful uncaging as well, it's like you're unfolding more of yourself, or you will be sharing more of yourself in this next cycle, this next chapter. I'm hearing as well, don't be afraid to let go of what hurt you, but keep the wisdom. So there may be, with this 10 of Wands, there may be a shedding where, you know, you're releasing old stories about yourself, old energies, just things that don't support you anymore, that aren't conducive to your happiness, to make room with this 9 of Cups for the things that do liberate you. There's really positive energies here as well around pretty much anything to do with career, finances, business pursuits, endeavors. Like, I just see a lot of promise. So for some of you, you might be quite goal oriented or very focused on your career, building something, creating something for yourself. And I feel like Spirit is helping you with that as well. But I'm hearing as well, don't forget your heart. Don't forget to make time for yourself emotionally. Don't be afraid of, with Ace of Cups, beautiful uncaging, it could be new love, new connection, new friendships, connecting with people in an open-hearted way. For this group, you might be quite cerebral, or you might very much focus your energy like mentally. I feel like for this group, you may have a lot of ideas, you have a lot of focus and drive is what I'm hearing. But there's a sense of balancing that with the emotion, to make sure your emotions are expressed, to make sure that you're in touch with what's going on emotionally. With the Lamb between sitting above the 2 of Pentacles, for some of you, maybe like there may be some deliberation about something, or you may just be feeling a little uncertain with where you're at. You could be in that crossroads where you're about to head into a new cycle, but you're not quite there. You're still dealing with old energies or the past, or something that needs clarifying or healing before you move in that direction. But I also feel as well like Spirit is really encouraging you to continually focusing on yourself and your dreams, your goals. Like, I feel for this group, you are 100% on the right track. But again, take time for yourself emotionally. Take time as well to be more vulnerable. But I also feel it could be for some of you taking time for yourself emotionally because there's still some remnants of what hurt you. And again, for some of you, I think I could be talking like back from childhood, or this could be a situation that has well and truly passed, that it's definitely not present, that it has closed out, but it hasn't closed out mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and that's why it's coming through. I also think with the Ace of Cups, there's a sense of making some time as well I just had to smell the roses, to enjoy yourself, to enjoy, you know, what you've created, to be at peace. There could be some time needed just for meditation, just going within, relaxing. But I do think the divine is really asking you to focus your energies on what supports you. With beautiful uncaging as well, there's a sense of really having mastered yourself or mastered a talent, a skill, a business, a career. I just feel like there's a level of mastery that you've reached that takes you to the next level. And with delight and blessings as well, I'm hearing like, don't be afraid to, you know, delight in some of these changes. Don't be afraid to delight in success, in who you've become and where you're at. For some of you as well, like birds may be really significant, because I keep birds here, here, and here. So there's 4 birds. I don't know if you like birds, or could be like a spirit animal. I don't know if spirit communicates through birds or feathers or something relative to birds. And again, that won't resonate with everyone, but I was just getting that message. You know, the King of Swords, I feel for this group, your mind is so strong, but sometimes it may need to be balanced, whether that is through meditation or any type of relaxation, where you're just able to kind of decompress. I feel like Spirit communicates to this group as well through the mind. So you may get random ideas, or if Spirit's trying to help you with something, I feel like you would hear those words or see something repeating, like you may hear it on the radio, see it on a TV show, and that's how Spirit would tell you, or that's how Spirit would get your attention to make you aware of something. So make sure you kind of listen, and that could be why meditation is really valuable for this group as well, because you're able to hear what Spirit is kind of saying or bringing to the surface. But don't be surprised for some of you if you have old emotions or memories that you thought you were completely over, that you've moved on from, coming back up to the surface, because I feel like it's doing so to enable a clearing, a healing, a release. And with that Nine of Cups, there's a lot of good fortune around you, around your career, your finances, your business, enterprise. I see a lot of success, and I feel like that is going to be really powerful and enjoyable for you. And I do feel like Spirit is encouraging you to embrace that and keep working, but just to make sure that you have balance and time just to be vulnerable or to relax and just be kind of in your own space, in your own energy. So that's all I have for you. If you enjoyed this reading, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Hi, Group 4. So the message I'm hearing is there's a need to be flexible with how things come in for you, how things manifest. With Wish Upon a Star and Fulfillment, I feel for this group there's some sort of wish or change or transformation that you're trying to manifest or going through in your life that Spirit is supporting and encouraging. But the way it comes in or how you think about it needs to change. There may be something, like you may have an idea in your head about how it's going to be or how it manifests, or I don't know, the specifics, but it's going to be very different, or Spirit wants you to be more flexible and more open in regards to how your path unfolds, because we do have flexibility underneath going forward. With the Empress, the Five of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, it's all about letting go. Spirit is also working with you to let go of illusions that you have about yourself with smoke and mirrors. It's almost like you are this Empress, you have that capacity to manifest, but there's a part of you that doesn't believe you can, or there's a part of you perhaps with a particular dream or idea where your thoughts and beliefs about it or yourself aren't congruent with the outcome that you're asking for. So I feel like Spirit is in this process or this phase of supporting or helping you change your cognitions, change your thought patterns, be more open to divine guidance or how things can shift, because you have Five of Swords and the Four of Pentacles sitting above it. There's a sense there could be like a fear of failure, or you feel like, oh, I always get the short end of the stick. Things don't work out for me. This, if I just leave it to Spirit, it won't happen. And sometimes we hold on to things too tightly, whether it be a manifestation, a person, a situation, because deep down we're afraid we won't get it. Or deep down we're afraid, that it could be fears around like, can I have this? Am I worthy? And there's some sort of core beliefs you have about yourself and receiving, or in particular receiving this manifestation that needs addressing. In this group, you actually had 9 cards. I accidentally grabbed 9, but I thought I should keep them all. With the Lovers as well, sitting above the Moon, I feel like there's going to be a lot coming to the surface that Spirit's helping you move through and transform, that in the past may have blocked you or stopped your progress, may have slowed it down at the very least. And I feel like for every single one of you, it may be a different belief, but there's a sense of lack or fear around receiving. It could be fear of failure, or feeling in the past like things always fail, or I don't get what I want, or even if I make these changes it won't work out. It's being really clear in terms of, no, I can manifest this, I can listen to my heart and follow my truth, with the Empress sitting above the Two of Wands. Yeah, and Five of Pentacles is like Spirit is asking you to address any level of pessimism or doubt, of lack mentality, because sitting above the Empress you have Wish Upon a Star, and it's like Spirit is saying we want you in that hopeful energy. where you believe in the impossible, where you really have faith in, you know, what you can create, what you can achieve, what is meant for you. And with fulfillment, I do think there's a lot of positive energy coming in. And I feel like you are going to feel really fulfilled and happy with the outcome. But with the Knight of Swords here as well, it's like Spirit is saying things can change really quickly, but it's a sense of, can you see how this Knight of Swords is coming behind this individual with their back turned? It's like he doesn't see it coming. There's something around your manifestation and your desire. And I feel for this group, there's one specific manifestation and desire. You may have multiple, but there's one that you're really seeking, or there's one that stands out above all the rest. There's a sense that it comes in, but it's not in the way that you have told yourself, or it's a completely different, it's like you become so flexible with it. The way in which it reaches you may be different to what you expected. And with that Eight of Cups, don't be afraid to let go of old ways of thinking and seeing things and doing things. Don't be afraid to kind of be in a very different or new energy. Yeah, I just heard as well, don't be afraid of the unknown. So for this group, there is that sense of being open, listening to the divine, yes, but also trusting your heart. For some of you, you may have reached a point where you feel negative around how your manifestations come in, or maybe, oh, if they haven't come in yet, they're not going to come in. Like there's some sort of, there could have been some disappointments, or things look like they're not working out, which is making you feel as though things won't work out or they won't change. And I feel like that's why Spirit is asking you to kind of keep that hope, keep that faith alive, stay very open. Also, with the Five of Swords and the Lovers, it's like making a choice in terms of what am I going to put my energy towards, because we can focus on or put our energy toward a manifestation while still being very open and accommodating in terms of how it comes in. And I feel like Spirit is really asking you to, even if you don't know exactly how things will work out or why things are occurring the way they are right now, to have faith and trust that it's happening for your highest good. There's a sense of, for this group, of developing faith and trust and not falling into, you know, limitation or negativity, even if you haven't seen the results yet, or even if it doesn't look as though things are working in your favor. There's a need to kind of stay positive, stay optimistic, keep that faith alive. And I feel the more you do so, I think things are going to change and things are going to come in for you. But again, it's not going to be in the way you expect. And for some of you, it might really surprise you when something shows up, or, you know, it comes in at a time or a point or in a way that you very much weren't expecting. And I think Spirit is saying the more you can have, if you know, faith and trust in this path, the better. So that's all I have for you. If you enjoyed this reading, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.